If you've ever picked up a crochet hook, looked at yarn, and had absolutely no idea what to do next, this video is made for you. By the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to hold your hook, how to make your first stitches, and how to actually finish something you're proud of. And I'm going to make it so simple that you won't need to pause and rewatch 10 times just to understand what's going on. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about why so many beginners struggle. And I think the number one reason is this. Most people start with the wrong materials. They go to the store, grab whatever yarn is on sale, pick up a random hook, and then wonder why everything looks terrible and nothing works the way it should. That is not your fault. The materials matter way more than most beginner guides tell you. Here's what you actually need to start. You want a medium weight yarn, which is usually labeled as a number 4 on the packaging. This is the most common type and the easiest to work with because it's not too thin and not too thick. Thin yarn is harder to see your stitches, and thick yarn can be heavy and harder to control when you're still learning. Number 4 yarn is the sweet spot. For your hook, you want something in the 5 to 5.5 millimeter range. Most number 4 yarns will even tell you on the label what hook size to use, so look for that. Don't buy a full set of hooks yet. You don't need it. Just get one hook in that size range and start there. Also, I'd say avoid anything fuzzy or fluffy for now. Fuzzy yarn hides your stitches, and when you're learning, you need to actually see what you're doing. Go for something smooth and a light or medium color. Dark yarn is harder to see. Trust me on this. Now, let's talk about how to hold the hook. This is something people overcomplicate all the time, and it doesn't need to be complicated. There are two main ways people hold a crochet hook. One is called the pencil grip, where you hold the hook just like you'd hold a pencil. The other is the knife grip, where you hold it more like you're holding a dinner knife with your hand over the top. Neither one is right or wrong. They're both fine. The one you should use is the one that feels comfortable to you. If you try one for a few minutes and your hand starts cramping or it just feels weird, switch to the other. A lot of people feel like they need to hold it a specific way or they're doing it wrong. You're not. Your hand comfort matters more than which grip you use. Now, the yarn hand. Your other hand holds the yarn and it controls the tension, which basically means how tight or loose the yarn feeds through as you stitch. Most people hold the yarn by draping it over their index finger and holding the work between their thumb and middle finger. But again, you'll find your own way. The goal is that the yarn has some resistance as it moves, not totally loose and floppy, but not so tight that you're pulling hard to get it through. Okay, so before you can do any stitch at all, you need a slip knot. This is how you attach the yarn to your hook. Here's how to do it. Take your yarn and make a loop by crossing the yarn over itself. Then reach through the loop, grab the yarn that's attached to the ball, and pull it through to make a new loop. Put that new loop on your hook and pull the short end and the long end to snug it up. It should sit on the hook comfortably, not too tight, not too loose. You should be able to slide the hook through easily. Once you have your slip knot, you're ready for the most important skill in all of crochet, the chain stitch. Nearly everything in crochet starts with a chain. It's literally the foundation. To make a chain, hold your hook with the slip knot on it and use your yarn hand to keep the yarn coming from behind. Now, wrap the yarn over your hook from back to front. This is called a yarn over. Then pull that yarn through the loop already on your hook. That's one chain. Do it again. Yarn over, pull through. That's 2 chains. Keep going. Your first few chains will probably look weird, uneven, too tight, too loose, who knows? That's completely normal. Don't stop to fix them, just keep going and get the motion into your hands. After 20 or 30 chains, you'll start to feel the rhythm. That rhythmic motion, yarn over, pull through, is the heart of crochet, and almost everything else is just a version of that. Make a chain of about 15 to 20 to practice. Don't count too carefully right now. Just focus on making each stitch feel similar to the last one. Try not to pull too tight. Tight stitches are the most common beginner problem because when you're nervous, you grip and tense up. Try to relax your hands. Now, let's talk about the single crochet, which is the simplest real stitch in crochet and the one you'll use the most as a beginner. Once you can do this stitch, you can make dishcloths, coasters, small bags, and all kinds of things. Here's how to do a single crochet. Look at your chain. You'll see each stitch looks like a little oval or V shape on top. To do your first single crochet, you're going to skip the first chain right next to your hook and insert your hook into the second chain from the hook. You'll see there are a couple of loops on top of the chain, and the easiest way is to just push your hook under the top 2 loops of that stitch. Once your hook is through the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. Now you have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over again and pull through both of those loops. That's 1 single crochet. Done! Now move to the next chain and repeat. Insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. Work your way across the whole chain doing this. When you get to the end, you've finished your first row. Give yourself a second to look at it. Even if it looks rough, you did that. You made stitches. To do the next row, you need to turn your work and make 1 chain stitch. This chain counts as a turning chain and helps you get to the right height for the next row. After you chain 1, you're going to turn the whole piece over so you're working in the opposite direction now. Then, single crochet across again, inserting your hook into each stitch from the row you just made. One thing that trips a lot of people up, when you get to the end of a row, make sure you don't miss the last stitch. It's easy to skip it because it can look a little different from the others. Just work all the way to the end every time. Keep doing rows until you have a small square or rectangle. This is the best way to practice. Just rows of single crochet back and forth. It's not glamorous, but it builds your muscle memory. And muscle memory is everything in crochet. After a while, you won't even have to think about what your hands are doing. Let's talk about tension for a second, because this comes up a lot. Tension is how loose or tight your stitches are. Ideally, you want them even, meaning each stitch looks about the same size. When you're just starting, your tension is probably all over the place, and that's totally fine. It gets more consistent the more you practice. One thing that helps is trying to always insert your hook the same way and always keep the same amount of pressure on the yarn. You'll also notice that when you pull stitches out and redo them, the yarn can look a little worn or frayed. That's normal. Don't stress about it for practice swatches. Save the nice fresh yarn for when you actually make something. After you've done single crochet for a while and it feels comfortable, you might want to try the double crochet, which is a taller stitch and creates fabric much faster. Here's the basic idea. To do a double crochet, you start by doing a yarn over before you even insert the hook. So yarn over first, then insert the hook into the stitch, yarn over again and pull up a loop. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Now you have 2 loops left. Yarn over one more time and pull through those last 2 loops. That's a double crochet. It sounds like a lot of steps, but once you do it a few times, it clicks really fast. Double crochet is so useful because it works up quickly and looks really clean. Now, eventually, you're going to want to actually finish a project. When you've done all your rows and you're done with the piece, you need to fasten off, which just means securing the yarn so it doesn't unravel. To do this, cut the yarn, leaving a tail of about 6 inches or so. Then do one last yarn over and pull the entire tail through the loop on your hook. Pull it snug. That locks it in place. Then take a yarn needle, which is like a big blunt sewing needle, and weave that tail in and out of a few nearby stitches on the back of your work to hide it. After weaving it in a few different directions, just trim off the extra. That's it. Your piece is done. The best first project for a beginner is honestly just a simple dishcloth or washcloth. You pick a size, usually around 20 to 30 stitches wide, and you work rows of single crochet until it's roughly square. That's the whole thing. It sounds too easy, but it's perfect because it's small enough to finish quickly, it's actually useful when you're done, and it gives you a ton of practice with the basic stitches. Finishing your first real project, even something small, changes everything. Once you hold something you made with your own hands, you stop feeling like a beginner. You feel like someone who crochets. And that shift matters. One last thing I want to say. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have rows that are uneven, stitches you miss, work you pull out and redo. That's not failing. That's literally just learning. Every person who crochets